Okay, so there are actually so many things we can talk about with the Montreal Canadiens and the way that they're playing the Calgary Flames. They're so far losing the series. We had a game yesterday that really wasn't all too great from the Montreal point of view. A very small amount of shots on goal, no offense whatsoever, a loss in regulation, and they all do it again today, or at least at the time of me recording this video, it's 2:03 a.m. in the morning. Saturday, April 24th. So yeah, this video is going to be uploaded about 8 hours-ish after I record it, and at the time of recording this video, we have ourselves another Canadiens-Flames game later today, and the reason I'm saying it like that is because I don't know if there's going to be any suspensions or postponements or whatever. We know Josh Leivo was taken out of the Flames roster because he tested positive for the thing. Yesterday's game still carried on despite the fact that he was indeed put into protocol, so we'll see if there are any updates on anything. Today's game, the second in a row between Montreal and Calgary. Another interesting note about yesterday's game, though, was the fact that Jonathan Drouin did not suit up in the lineup. He was taken out of the lineup because he wasn't feeling all too great, although it was confirmed that his absence was not related to the thing that Josh Leivo tested positive for, so there you go. But because we had ourselves an extra forward spot opened up, Habs fans were kind of excited into seeing a guy who might be able to make his debut. We had Carey Price taken out of the lineup because he got injured. We have Jonathan Drouin already taken out as well. Does this open the door for Cole Caufield? And I guess, the answer was no for yesterday. We'll see if things change later today for tonight's game, but because he's probably the hottest name in Montreal Canadiens fandom at the moment, Cole Caufield is the subject of today's video. And before we get everything underway, because I know it took us 2 minutes to get to this point, thank you to those in the comment section of the recent Canadiens video who commented Badgers. And that one was another video about Cole Caufield. Yeah, I know, I get that, but like, come on. I think people are going to want to see this. Stick around to the end of today's video for a chance to be featured in the next Montreal segment. But heading over to Cole Caufield and the overall updates we have for this guy, he didn't play yesterday. We know that. But a very interesting thing happened with the Canadiens and their overall handling of this young guy because they actually gave him a spot in the media where the guys were able to ask him questions and he was able to give out some answers. Now, I will say this when it comes to Cole Caufield and the media, he has always been a very proper interview, I would say, because he always goes out there and he says the right things. You know, he's an educated guy. He's come up in a system where they prime their players towards being potential NHL stars. So the fact that this guy, who was one of the better players on the NTDP, which was such a good hockey team that had all the media attention, he went and got education with the University of Wisconsin and faced a heck of a ton of pressure from Canadiens fans and media in the process. So he's always been in a spot where the interviews he gives out are usually really good, and there isn't usually anything that stands out in a super negative way about them. In fact, there never is. So, when Caufield had himself another opportunity to meet with the media here in Montreal, things got a little bit interesting. So, let's go over some of the quotes, but before we go over the Caufield things, I wanted to go over some of the quotes that Dominique Ducharme actually had about Cole Caufield, because obviously, as the guy who is manning the bus, he has himself a very big part in this conversation as well. This is a quote that Dominique Ducharme had on Cole Caufield a few days ago, back when he was recalled out to the team. The Laval Rocket only have one game during the time that we're gone. Cole Caufield is going to be around the guys, on the ice with the guys when possible. We want to give him that experience of being around NHL caliber players and knowing what it's like being in that environment. That was a week ago. And for the most part, I think Ducharme and the rest of the Habs coaching staff have done a very good job in upholding their word. This is what Ducharme said yesterday about Cole Caufield's status, who wasn't playing in yesterday's game. We had the discussion with Cole Caufield to take in everything. Practices, morning skates, being with the guys, the league, travel. Right now, that's the situation. Nothing has changed. And I've been seeing a lot of Canadiens fans out there talking about, oh, Drouin is out, you guys don't have Price, what's stopping you from doing some cap hocus pocus to find yourselves a way to play this guy on a team that needs goal scoring in probably the most important stretch of the entire season, heck, maybe even the most important stretch of games this team has played in a long time. When you're in a situation like this, what good is it to sit down a guy who could arguably be one of the best goal scorers in the system already and telling him, okay, what we're going to do is have you focus on being in practice and being around the guys. Ducharme's main point is that was always the plan, and the fact that Drouin is not here anymore should not be taken into account into changing that plan. Now that's just the point that he's trying to make. Sure, if Caufield plays today against Calgary and okay, he scores a hat trick, awesome. The plan is broken and they'll probably keep Caufield in. But that wasn't originally what they wanted to do. So, continuing on with the quotes over here, this is what Caufield himself said about being on the Canadiens taxi squad, not playing when Laval are playing, and just sticking around with the team. He goes really in-depth with Dominique Ducharme's own perspective. I'm a part of this team, and they decide what to do with it. So I'm 100% all in on what they're telling me to do. Whether it's playing in Laval, playing some games there. The Laval Rocket, by the way, they've done extraordinarily well in the AHL, even without Cole Caufield, so good for them, I guess. But for Caufield, he's on board with whatever the plan is that the Canadiens have for him in store here. Just being on the roster, just getting those NHL bucks, because remember, if you're on the taxi squad, you're still getting paid the normal money that you're getting. It's just that that money doesn't count towards the Canadiens' cap, which is why the taxi squad even exists in the first place as a cap kind of maneuvering tool. Caufield said this about being on the squad. I think I'm in a great spot here getting to practice and being around the guys. Obviously, I'm going to trust what they think is best for me, and I'm trying to make the most out of wherever I am and be where my feet are. I like that quote. Be where my feet are. Wherever my feet are planted, my headspace mentally, it's there alongside of the rest of my physical body. That's a really kind of deep quote there, Cole Caufield. I like that. He also said this, even the practices, they're so detailed and you're not doing a lot of reps. You're doing it the right way, so you really got to focus on the limited reps you have. This is the time where anybody goes out there and talks about the Canadiens, oh, maybe you should be doing more reps because you guys aren't scoring any goals. That's kind of a joke. But next up here on the Caufield quotes right here, this is what he said about his first practice against Carey Price. I remember the first one. It was pretty special. I didn't selly after I scored a goal on him. I didn't want to do that. It's not the right thing to do, but it was pretty cool. He's got the higher score advantage on me, so I'll keep my mouth shut. Speaking about goals in practice, though, we had ourselves what was a clip released of Cole Caufield in practice, where he comes in and he just scores an absolute highlight reel-level play, and he makes it look so effortless that it's so incredible to see just the talent on display right here. He receives the puck in the slot, he's point-blank in front of the goaltender, he goes through the legs. But then what does he do? Oh no, this is not a normal through-the-legs play right here. He pulls it back through his legs and goes backhand. He fakes the through-the-legs shot and he reverses it back the other way, and he does it so quickly that you kind of have to watch the video 2 or 3 times to really get that he pulls it in between his legs twice. And then he backhands it past the goaltender, and I mean, if Cole Caufield can be going out there doing stuff like that in practice casually against NHL-level goaltenders, I don't know if there's any reason to doubt that he will be some form of an impact at the NHL level. He also said this about practice as well. Observations of the power play from being on the PK in practices this week. The Canadiens, they move the puck fast. There's no fumbling of the puck. Stick handles, it all goes pretty fast. It was pretty cool being out there and getting a look for myself. There's another joke you can make. Oh, power plays. Not really all too fast when Shea Weber's not getting any shots through, eh? But of course, that's kind of me joking around again. Cole Caufield, though, whether or not he makes his debut tonight against Calgary or some other day against Calgary, because they do have another game after this one, I will stand by what I said in the previous video that Cole Caufield, while he may be a very impactful player, I don't want to make it seem like him going into the lineup is going to cause the Canadiens to win, I don't know, like 5 games in a row and solidify themselves a playoff spot, because one guy is not going to be able to do that. Sure, Caufield will be part of the solution, but he is not the entire solution. The Montreal Canadiens have more problems to deal with, and not all those problems can be solved by one Cole Caufield alone. Sure, he will help out a ton, but they still have to work out other parts of their games. As we've noted, there are a few other things that they really do kind of need to put some attention towards, so I guess we'll leave this video off here, just kind of with the updates, I guess. If Cole Caufield does make his debut, then we'll update the comment section, give ourselves another update as well. But talk to me in the comments what you think about this video. If you made it to the end, the comment section keyword of the day is cold coffee. because I read that on the Canadian subreddit and it sounds very similar to Cole Caufield. Cold coffee. That's a very good one. Comment that down in the comments below to make it known that you made it to the end of this video for a chance to be featured in the next Canadiens video. Also, just tell me all your thoughts about Caufield and the practices and him not playing yesterday, maybe playing today, who knows. All that stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this. Mr. Ashwell was the 99. And bye.